Good evening, everybody. It's like 7 or 8 p.m. here. I'm actually going to hide behind my Chevy here because it's quite windy. I know. I just washed this thing, and I was crop touring today, and we found a few mud holes, and it's going to be I'm going to have to clean that before I can head back north. But anyway, we are at the South Farm. We as in me, myself, and I. There's a bit of a low coming through, some clouds, so that's the reason why we're getting some like 50k winds, and it's cooled off just a little bit, which is kind of nice. So the reason why we're doing this video is because, sorry about that wind. I guess there's really no good way of me getting out of it, but the reason why we're doing this video is because last night after spraying up north, I drove down here. I drove all night to get down here so I could crop tour in scout fields. The guys were saying we have hoppers, which I already knew. We've been spraying for hoppers. We've already sprayed our chickpeas one time for Astachyta. Don't worry, we will do videos about that when we can actually consolidate and actually catch our breath, because we've been just going nuts. So grasshoppers, they're going to be a problem this year. They were a problem last year. They're going to be more of a problem this year. Let's go out here. So this is some wheat. It's pretty nice, eh? It's pretty nice and green. This was on lentil stubble from last year. This has already been sprayed one time for grasshoppers. One time. And it was sprayed recently, like only a few days ago. But anyway, let's see if we can't find any here. They're kind of hard to see. They're just little guys. There's one right. Oh, he's jumping. Let's see if I can zoom in on him here. Right, where'd he go? Where'd that little guy go? So, prior to us spraying this one time, and we even sprayed the ditch, you spray the road allowance because you're just spraying for hoppers, right? So you would walk through this ditch and it would just with little baby grasshoppers. Like, we're talking little guys, like this big. But those little guys are going to become big guys. And they're already doing some chewing, but not bad. So let's take a look here. We got some chewing going on right there. We are stopped in a pretty decent part of the field. There is, see here, they're jumping here. So let's see if we can zoom in on this guy right here. There we go. There's a few holes right there. See if we can find some dead grasshoppers. No. It's always hard to find the dead grasshoppers after like a day or so. I don't know where those carcasses. Here we go. Here's some dead ones. Sorry, guys. Right there's a dead one. Right over there's a dead one. Anyways, there is certain thresholds. I can't remember how many grasshoppers per square foot. Oh, there's another one jumping right here. Where'd he go? Gosh, this is difficult. Of course, the sun isn't really working in our favor here. There's another dead one. Right there. They kind of turn black. Anyways, this isn't too bad. But you got to get these things while they're small, because they're easy to kill while they're small. Once they get big, they get really hard to kill. In fact, my neighbor and friend here, he actually has some hopper damage far worse than this. Now, his crop is a lot younger. It's probably only maybe 3 or 4 leaf stage. This is far more advanced. And the grasshoppers cleaned it right down to the dirt. Right down to the dirt. Like, they typically start at the road edge because they like to go to where there's green grass in the fall. And that's the reason why. These were lentils. They hung greener last year because there was no crop anyway for some reason. And they grew with kochia because there was no competition. Kochia stayed green. They all flocked to the kochia, laid their eggs. So all of our lentil stubble that we seeded wheat on this year is really bad for hoppers. Really bad. The rest of our land isn't too bad, just due to there was no green material for the hoppers to go and eat and lay eggs in. So typically your ditches are green in the fall. They like to lay eggs. It's kind of windy, it's hard. But this is a good sign, you guys. If you can go like this and you can kind of count the grasshoppers, That's a good sign. That means our first application worked. Say we got maybe 75% of them. It's really bad when you walk down the ditch and the ground moves with them. Then that's really bad, like a wave in front of you. Then that's bad. See right here? Here's a little more damage. See, I can try to zoom in on this. So this leaf here has been eaten right off. This guy here has got a bunch of chunks out of it. This guy here, the tip of him has been eaten off. This guy's got some damage. This guy's been stripped in half. So when they're eating your leaves, they're taking yield. You know, you need your leaves for your photosynthesis. And see right here, we got some more chewing on this guy. But this is not bad. Okay, there's way worse hopper damage out there than just this. This poor little plant has been chewed up really good. This one's been chewed. This one's been chewed off. That one's been chewed off. That one's been chewed off. Chewed off up here. Really chewed down all the way down to here. See this? This is not producing yield. This is taking yield. All right. It's just a matter of how much yield. And it's all been chewed off down in here. Look at this leaf. This guy's all been chewed up. Chewed right, like this is gone. That's gone. So, grasshoppers are massive yield robbers, okay? And right now, they don't have a big appetite. They're only this big. But when they get bigger, they're gonna have a massive appetite. You have to take them out where they're just jumping because they can't fly yet. That's the thing. They can't fly yet. They're just newborns, they're babies. They're little guys, whatever you want to call them. They're jumping around. They don't have the biggest appetites. You got to spray them. You got to control them now. This is the time. Now or never. Once we get, I don't know, into July, they're going to get bigger. Their appetite's going to eat more. They're going to start doing 10 times the damage, and they're going to do it twice as fast. Okay? And once they start flying, you pretty much can't control them. Because, so say I sprayed my field, but my neighbor didn't spray his field. Once they're flying, they're just moving all over the place. And then they typically will come out of the southeast. That's the southeast. And then they'll fly high. And if the swarms of them are thick enough, like locusts, they can actually be picked up on radar. It's crazy. They can be picked up on radar. And so, like, if Montana has them bad, which I know that there is parts of Montana that do have them bad. If we get a strong southeast wind, like a good hard southeast wind, bringing it up this way, which is pretty common, if you look up in the sun, when the sun is about up pretty much to the south, you look up at the sun, all you see is glitter from their wings when they're flying. And that is terrifying because when those things come up in their swarms like locusts, they will land wherever it's green. And they will clean it right off, and there isn't a dang tootin' thing that you can do about it. Not a dang tootin' thing. You can spray all day long, it don't matter. They're gonna clean her right off. So, we're not there yet. We have no idea if we're going to get there. We sure pray that we won't. There is hopper pressure out here. Look at this. We can still tell that there is damage to these leaves. They're chewing on them, and they're just babies yet. We've sprayed them once, we're going to do it again. They're coming out here yet tonight to spray. But look at this crop, guys. Other than my shadow, look at this crop. This is the nicest looking wheat crop. Well, this is pretty much the nicest looking crop that we've actually had in the last couple years. There's a hopper right there. He's chewing right there. Hold on. Look at him. There's the size they are. And he's just chewing on that leaf. Just loving it. So we actually have a crop for update for moisture. Down here at the South Farm, we've been getting just enough moisture to keep the crop growing. We're getting some foliage, and foliage can be concerning if you get a lot of moisture during basically from 2 or 3 weeks ago up till now, because if you don't get some stress on the crop at this stage, it won't put down any roots. And if it doesn't put down any roots right now, when July rolls around and it gets stinking hot, because we always get hot and windy in July, it won't have a root system. If it doesn't have a root system, it's going to take a potential 50 bushel crop yield and reduce it to 25. So I would rather have a little stress right now, put some roots down, and then hopefully we have enough roots to get through to July. And then hopefully we grab a couple thunderstorms. So anyway, this is the wheat crop. We had nothing at this time last year. It was already written off. The crop this time last year was written off. This year is different. We want to keep this crop. We'll do everything in our power to protect it, but it's not cheap putting out insecticides. It's probably still going to cost you between $5 and $10 for the cheap stuff. And then there's more expensive insecticides once they get bigger that can run you all the way up to $20-some an acre. And you know, that's per application. And then you have to figure out what kind of crop you got coming out here and how much money you can afford to keep putting out. This is also mine, by the way. So yeah, that's the update. So anyway, I really haven't slept yet. And you probably have questions like, why did you have to come down to the South Farm? Because that's my job. I do the agronomy at both places, all of it, 100%. I can give marching orders of what needs to be done, but every now and then you still got to be boots on the ground. Probably every 3 days anyway, you need to be boots on the ground, do your crop tours. I got down here, I think at like, excuse me, this morning. And I didn't do many videos, so I apologize. I didn't do many videos of my crop touring because I was in a hurry. I'm not done spraying up north. Donovan is still up there, and I'm going back here right now. And I should be back there by 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we're gonna start spraying at 5. So that's the life of a farmer. You can see these ones hopping. There's way more hopping out here. Can't really tell. They are jumping though. It's hard to tell. But they're jumping enough that they gotta get sprayed, 100%. So the sprayers are on their way out here. They should be here by... They were just finishing up some other hopper stuff on the other side of the farm because we're literally prioritizing where we have to get to first. And I know you have other questions like, what about the spray plane? Have you fired up the spray plane? Because we're going with ground units as well. Yes, we have fired up the spray plane. Brian has been spraying hoppers as well. And when Brian is spraying with the spray plane, don't worry, we will be back. We'll get some videos. We only have another couple days up north and I'll be back here again. He can sure knock off acres. So our ground unit, the Trident, which is the biggest sprayer we have, it has massive capacity. And I think Rickles is running that one. Yeah, Rickles is running that one. Rickles started right by the farm, right where there's water. And Rickles did 320 acres. And in the time it took Rickles to do 320 acres, Brian had already knocked off 1,000 acres. So it's quite a bit faster. And that's not having to road a few miles. That's like right close. If you have to road the sprayers like 4 miles, which is very realistic, then that gap just keeps widening. So yeah, these are going to be some wild sunflowers. Let's see, the hoppers are chewing on them too. But anyways, that's the update. Hoppers are small. They're doing damage even though they're small. Like I said, I've got some friends and neighbors that have chewed the ground, chewed it right brown. And also, our late seeded durum. Like, this stuff is pretty advanced. There's a little bit of foliage here for these guys to chew on a little bit, even though you are losing yield. Our durum is only... Sorry, I thought there was someone coming. I'm literally in the middle of the road. Our durum is only 2 and 3 leaf right now, because literally, like, we just finished seeding, like, not very long ago, right? The hoppers aren't as bad in that because that was mustard stubble, and our mustard was good and dead with no weeds last fall, so they didn't lay their eggs there, but there's still some hopper pressure. But we have to watch that stuff even more closely because it takes nothing to snip off one leaf. 2 leaves, right? There goes your plant. So the durum is far more susceptible to damage at its early stage than this spring wheat is. This was some of our first stuff seeded. So anyways, I gotta get going north. I'd like to get there before 2, and I would sure love to be able to grab an hour of sleep, or it's gonna be 40 some hours here, and I can run 40 some hours, but I am not going into the 50s. So I will let you guys go. Catch you later. Adios, amigos. So we went to a different field here on the way up. You can see him. See him jumping. Definitely a lot more up here, boy. This is also spring wheat, not nearly as advanced, but they can do a lot of damage on it. Look at these little guys. Oh, where'd he go? Hold on, yeah, let me try to find one. This is kochia, by the way. Right there, hold on. Oh, come on, focus. No, hold on here. Here we go. Where'd he go? Right. He's gone. What the heck? These guys are so tiny. They're just little baby grasshoppers. See, they're still doing some damage. Oh, that leaf just fell right off. That's not too good. Anyways, we're gonna have to send the sprayers here next by the look of it. You really can't tell, but there's lots of little baby grasshoppers jumping around while I'm walking here. See, look at they're chewing on this stuff big time. There's one right there. Hold on. Right there. Sorry, but they're hard to spot. They're pretty dang well camouflaged. So yeah. If my truck wasn't running, I could actually hear them hopping around. Alright guys, I'm gonna keep heading north. I just stopped on some of our northern land. Definitely gotta spray this, chewing this up. Alright, adios amigos.